Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, let's get ready to rumble. Dan, Jeremy, is the CM Punk return the greatest return of all time?
No.
Obviously.
What? What are you talking about?
You can't even not say. I mean, it's literally the greatest return of all time in all metrics.
Anything to back that up besides your opinion?
Let's talk about surprise. First off, my specialty, and one thing I love about wrestling, and I can watch them over and over and over and over and over again, is everyone loves a good return. A good surprise return. A good return. There's a return, a surprise return. There's a lot of different type of returns. There's the Randy Orton return, right? We actually had 2 returns on Survivor Series. The Randy Orton return was a planned, announced return. He's still returning, but everyone knew about it. Okay, the CM Punk was the ultimate surprise return. And there's only very few that I put up in that category of surprise that ever happened like that. There's only a couple of them. There's 2 other ones. I'll see if you maybe guess them. They're all WWE related. But there's only 2 other returns that I count that was a complete shock to somebody. And, I mean, first off, look at the situation with CM Punk. If you watch the video before they edit any of the sound, it's by far a fantastic pop when the music hits. The crowd actually, you can tell by, like, there's cheering, and then there's the shock sound. It was the shock cheers, like, oh, like no one knew. There's a woo, and there's a whoa. All different type of comment. You could tell by the sound of the crowd that they were completely shocked. WWE didn't interject him into the match. The match had been finished. The winners were announced. The pinfalls, Cody Rhodes music was playing. The copyright logo came up that indicates the show was over. They even came up with the next logo that says the next show or the sponsored by, whatever. And Michael Cole signs off with, this is a great show, blah, 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 in Chicago, and signs off. And there's literally a 5 to 6 second pause of nothing. And then and the CM Punk music plays, and the crowd just goes berserk. And then it shows the camera going up, and everyone's trying to stand up, get their phones up, everyone's jumping. When people are moving, and I know it's Chicago, the best probably set up for it, but when people are like jumping, that's a good thing. When CM Punk showed up on Raw the next day, nobody was moving. Okay, so when people are moving and jumping, okay, it's a good return. And I think at the end of the day, I think you have to rank it one of the best returns of all time. I mean, I'm not even going to get into, I'll let Jeremy decide what road we go down, but I'm not even going to get into the numbers, and all of that type of stuff. But I just think from a memorable standpoint, this will be one of those top, I put 3 returns I consider the top 3 of all time. I would have put this over those other 2. And not to mention the whole CM Punk chant when he was standing there. It was like the whole arena was chanting CM Punk. Again, hometown Chicago. Everything that could align for a perfect return was there, and they achieved that.
Yeah, I think that's probably why Triple H went for it and signed on to it. I mean, it was an excellent return. It was an amazing return. Let me guess. The Rock 2010. Is that one of your...
2011.
2011,
yes.
Sorry. Rock 2011. That was right. The Rock has come back.
It was a fantastic return.
Finally, The Rock has come back. What was the other one? I don't know the
Brock Lesnar returning.
Oh, Brock Lesnar.
With after the Rock and CM Punk match. Or not the Rock and John Cena match.
See, I think Edge's return at Royal Rumble
that was good, but it was kind of... It had the surprise factor.
2020.
But
okay. The pop in Chicago that you heard was an amazing pop, but it wasn't because people were surprised. It was because you were giving them what they wanted. They were desperate for CM Punk. There were CM Punk signs all in the crowd. You could see people were wearing his merchandise and his t-shirts. Even the AEW stuff people were wearing in the crowd, something WWE typically doesn't tolerate very much, but you could actually see in the crowd this time the camera shots. At All Out, a week after All In, when he was suspended and he was in the process of being fired, what did they do? They spent a week in Chicago. Everybody was desperate. They thought for sure they were going to see CM Punk there, and he never showed up. So that pop, with that amazing pop, yeah, it's Chicago, yeah, it's for him, but it wasn't like, oh my God, I'm totally shocked, I can't believe this has happened. It's, oh my God, they did it. They gave me what they wanted.
Is it not the same
they're
thing?
Feeding me. I think that there is a fundamental difference in when we talk about shock factor. I think people at home, if you're in New York, if you're in California, if you're in Alaska, then yeah, absolutely, you're like, whoa, didn't see this one coming. But I think if you or I were sitting in that arena in Chicago looking around at all the CM Punk merchandise, we'd be like, if you don't show up tonight, people are going to be pissed. They're going to be very upset. So, viewership-wise, yeah, the 70, they were pitching like 71 million views or something like that.
Across all platforms.
I just don't know how much value to put on it. Is it heavily watched? Yeah, it was heavily watched. I just don't know why I care about that as the WWE fan. Like, I guess if I'm an investor, I kind of like it because it means more advertising revenue. But if I'm Joe Schmo sitting on the couch at home, I don't really care that 71 million people watched it between Twitter, Facebook.
Oh, they're definitely
all
using
the
it for
other places.
promotion. Yeah.
And of course, I think if you were to look at the actual metrics of that, 80% of those views are from outside the United States. So it's not even like relevant. It's not like I can go to work and talk about it necessarily, you know.
Any wrestling fan who sees CM Punk return is gonna click on a video and watch it. I mean, who's not? I mean, if you're any type of wrestling fan, whether you watched it years ago or not watched it, you're clicking on that video to see CM Punk return.
And listen,
I mean,
when Matt and I were talking about, when we were all talking about the possibility of it like a month or so ago, we kind of laughed it off. We said one of the reasons why we don't think it's a good idea is because you're going to get that quick pop, and then it's going to fade.
which
almost
clearly
immediately.
show on Raw.
Which was, so first step, huge pop, and then obviously, Raw, the promo afterwards kind of left people wanting more and a little bit hungry. So I definitely don't think it's the greatest return. It might be top 10. I think you could easily make an argument that it's top 10. But I definitely don't think. No, Edge's return was better. It had the same level of secrecy, way more emotion behind it. Edge's return, I mean, they told him he'd never wrestle again. He was a crowd favorite for forever. He'd been away almost as long, right? Punk was away, I think, for 10 years officially from the ring. Edge came back wrestling. Punk still hasn't wrestled, and we don't know when he's going to wrestle yet. I think really the only reason why they got a huge pop out of it, and this is maybe Triple H's thumb and Tony Khan's eye, is, well, if you can't take him, we'll take him, kind of a thing, you know.
But you're missing the question is it the perfect return?
It's
is
not
it the
the
best
perfect
return? You got to throw in
I
the
think The
element.
Rock's return from 2011 is better than this one.
First off, I personally like The Rock. I think it's a great. But when you look at the elements of it, if he was returning to an arena in Miami, Florida, then the crowd would have been going probably absolutely berserk. See it for you. First off, we've got to understand the two different people
That
dealing
return
with.
wouldn't have been the same if it wasn't in Chicago.
Oh, that's what, I
It would
know.
have been like half.
Oh, absolutely. That's
of
why
what
I'm
it was.
saying it's the perfect return because they put every element that they could put into making it one of the best returns of all. You can't. Well, who else has ever returned like that at
that's
their
what I'm
hometown?
saying. They put everything they could into it.
Right.
That makes it top 10, but that doesn't make it the best of all time. That's all
I
I'm trying to say.
think when you look at for me,
it's a testament to CM Punk. He's not Mount Rushmore of wrestling.
no. But
You know.
he has that weird following that everyone is
Right.
craving
and
for.
if they did it in LA, it wouldn't have worked. New York
Oh, for
wouldn't have
sure.
worked.
Look, if this was
So-
somewhere else, I wouldn't say it's number one because I judge my number one off of what I see from the crowd reaction. And the crowd reaction, like I said, if you're trying to set up, if you have an outline of how to create the best return of all time, one of them's going to be in hometown. They knocked that off. Not too
Yeah,
many,
they'll
like
win
The
no matter
Rock,
what.
Edge, Brock Lesnar, John Cena. I mean, John Cena's return to SummerSlam with Roman Reigns was actually a good surprise pop. No one thought that was coming, and right after the match was over, bam.
Well, those are the kind of guys you could return almost anywhere.
Right.
There is
But
no
CM
hometown.
Punk, when you add in that whole element, the crowd reaction was fantastic. You didn't know if the wrestlers knew about it, don't know about it. WWE played into the surprise factor with it technically ending the show.
You
Like, it
think
was
they-
very well put together.
Did they do it in the right spot?
What do you mean?
They waited until literally the last second right before
Oh,
they went
yeah.
off the air. Was that the right way to do it?
Oh,
or
I
should
think
they
so,
have done it
100%.
differently? 'Cause
You took everyone's hope away. If you're a wrestling fan, and I was watching, I just
That's
went over
heat.
this.
You're saying it builds heat. They
Yeah,
thought the
I
show
was watching the show. The copyright logo came up, and I turned it off. I said, "That's it." People who are, they took everyone's hope away for a minute. They did. Anyone who really, really knows wrestling knows that when that copyright logo comes up, it's done. It's done. Like I don't think there's ever really been a return or someone coming out after a copyright logo has gone up, right? So if everyone's looking up at the Titan, trying to get the big screen in the middle. You can see what the TV sees, and when you see the copyright logo come up, get the popcorn, honey. We're going. It's over. And I was actually shocked. If you really look, everyone's still in their seats. The copyright logo comes up and it goes away for 30 seconds.
Well, yeah, and
everyone's still sitting.
You still had guys in the ring
And
right?
like, normally
The
people are
war
getting
game
up, they're trying to get up
structure.
the escalator, they know it's over, they're trying to get out of there. No one, I think people still had a cringe of hope that he was coming out. That's how loyal that Chicago crowd is to
Chicago,
him.
yeah.
They really, really wanted that. So when you take that element, you hit the music after all that, you have to mark it, in my opinion, the greatest return of all time, because all the elements for it were there. Rather you like CM Punk or not, it was just a fantastic return.
Yeah, I think they couldn't have done any better with CM Punk than they did. That was the best way they could have made the return.
If it was any better wrestler, i.e. a Rock or a John Cena or like whatever top tier, it definitely would have been like.
If it was like LA, WrestleMania in LA, and the show ended and The Rock's music hit, that probably could go down. LA would probably get a big crowd pop from The Rock. Miami, Tropicana Field in Miami, probably get a big pop for The Rock. Or Tampa, wherever Rock.
I mean, almost anywhere.
I
would
mean,
get a
Stone. I
huge-
mean, you got to look at who can bring that. CM Punk just has that weird vibe with Chicago. Like, I don't know. I don't know if there's any wrestler who can get a pop in your hometown more than CM Punk can in Chicago. I mean, who? I mean, I don't really know who could get a bigger pop in your hometown.
in their hometown, I mean, The Rock in Miami, of course, would get a crazy pop. Stone Cold, if he was still wrestling or if he still had the potential to wrestle, could do it.
But you got to have that surprise
That's the
factor.
other thing is there aren't too many returns.
No.
That
Well,
you could even do right now.
I said on the show a couple months ago, there's only one return left that WWE has that hasn't happened that would signify a great return, and it's that. It's done. Who's in return now? Everyone's been on TV in some way the last 2 or 3. Who of
Even
that
Punk.
statue?
Even Punk was on TV in 20.
But I'm talking like WWE though, like
No, he was on one of the WWE shows.
oh
What was it,
the
20
Fox, the pre-shows.
Yeah, whatever that show was.
But that's
that
not
they
really
did.
out in the ring though.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like that's why they're pushing the whole.
Right.
Oh, it's been a decade thing
Right.
for Punk.
But WWE has no one left to really do a surprise return. Stone Cold been around, Goldberg, Brock Lesnar, The Rock, John Cena, Roman Reigns, Edge, Chris Jericho. Like, they're all relevant. Like, there's really no one left that'd be like, oh, holy shit. No moments are done. Like, The Rock returning after 10 years is one.
Yeah, the only people would be too old to.
Yeah, like, no one wants Hulk Hogan. No one wants to see Hulk Hogan anymore. Ric Flair, he's been on TV everywhere. Like, there's no, that is, and I said right here, sitting right here, I said there's only one more return that WWE has not been able to do yet that would be a huge return, and that would be CM Punk. And now they did it. They did it the right way, in my opinion, but now they did. They have no one really left for big ultimate holy shit moments. It's done. Unless someone from AEW coming over to WWE that's never been there. Like the Young Bucks. That would be a huge moment.
Do you see? Do you think that this whole, because obviously there's a lot of argument over whether it's a work or a shoot in regards to like Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins, their response to Punk's music hitting. Obviously, you saw the videos of McIntyre storming off, and
It was planned.
you think it's all
Oh
a
yeah.
work.
Well, first off,
Rhea
McIntyre.
Ripley rolling her eyes and flipping the bird to him and stuff
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
all. Yeah, they're all. Well, first off, they're all.
They're
playing-
company people.
Yeah, they're all.
company
But at the end of the day, they're like, oh yeah, who's this guy? Oh, they're playing the, which makes me think he could go down the heel route. He's not face just
Not a
yet.
good start. If he's on the heel.
I think he could play the everyone hates me card, and I'm the he could play I'm the real guy. I'm going to show you how he could play that
right.
Last
question. Let's close it up. Last question.
Right.
I want to know. So he's back.
Mm-hmm.
When's his first match, and who's it against?
What's the next pay per view? Royal Rumble?
Royal Rumble.
Is it really the next one?
January.
Yeah, you're right. Royal Rumble.
Against who?
No one. He'll be in the match.
Is he going to win?
Yes.
Okay. So he wins the Royal Rumble and he gets his title shot at WrestleMania.
And he'll pick Seth Rollins.
And he'll pick Seth Rollins. And then they'll do that arc.
Well, I mean that takes away from the whole. Everyone thinks Cody Rhodes is going to win it again. I mean there'll have to be a different path for Cody Rhodes to Roman Reigns, but I mean,
Isn't Cody on Raw right now?
he's on both, isn't he?
Oh, that's right. They made him a free agent or whatever.
So I mean,
yeah, they were supposed to do a draft too. I wonder if that went. Remember they were.
Well, I
saying
read
they were gonna
CM Punk
do a
is
draft.
listed as a free agent.
They were saying that they were going to do a draft after Survivor Series. Because now they got the 2 commissioners now for each of the brands and stuff.
I mean, he said that I read that it was a Fightful that said he's listed as a free agent, CM Punk.
That's what you do.
I think he's. I mean, there's nothing for him to wrestle right now. He'll do. I wouldn't be surprised if he takes another week off.
You got to give him. He's got to do something though. You got to give him a little.
Well, he
bump
already
or something.
implied that he's going after people that don't like that he's here.
Yeah, I don't think they want to waste him on a Raw or something like that. You know.
I mean,
they're gonna wait.
We'll see.
They'll have some interactions and stuff, but okay.
All in all, great return. Can't go wrong.
Solid return. Very, very good return.
Well, there you have it, folks. Great return, solid return. Let us know what you think down in the comments below. And if you keep watching, we'll keep wrestling with the business.